Now let me start off this guide by saying that I'm not reinventing the wheel with the speed team, and I know that. I basically just substitute my Ikaru, which kind of is outdated. He did make sense in this Necro team, but I think it's time for us to swap him out for the new 2A of the Dark Harpu, Seren. Now as you guys can see, I'm running her on Violent Revenge. The Revenge set is kind of just as like a safety net, but overall I actually do like fight a lot more, and we're gonna maybe even see in today's video why that is the case, because my team is actually kind of very closely tuned. I guess another thing that I want to mention with this team comp is that my Seren actually is not fully skilled, so I would be able to maybe shave off like 1 or 2 seconds off this team some more. And this is actually an extremely unlucky run, as you guys can see. Like my cannon girl so far, okay, this is the first time where she actually uses the right skill on the wave, and right now we got kind of unlucky because we didn't team up with the Astar early enough, because otherwise if my Raoq uses a team up with her like maybe once or twice, the team would just be dead. Now here basically I'm just kind of making use out of Raoq's passive. I'm one-shotting the boss's first life, so even if we got unlucky on the first wave, and then maybe even the second wave because we missed like an armor break where we could potentially do it, we still ended up getting for a pretty nice comeback over here, which is I think one of the reasons why I don't really need the revenge set on the Seren. Because the boss barely gets to move anyways. I don't think I get like as much utility out of it as I would if I just slapped another fight set on her and made sure that my Raoq actually one-shot stuff. Now here we actually got pretty lucky. The cannon girl used the right abilities, my Raoq uses the right abilities, I teamed up with the right people. All in all, it's pretty nice. We get another second skill coming up. So basically this team all relies on my Raoq going for his second skill, reducing CDR of the cannon girl, and then the cannon girl having CDR for the next wave to use her second skill, which is just beautiful. Now as you guys can see, I'm getting to kill that Astar again. I'm getting to pretty much hit through that boss. I get the armor break. It's going to be another Shamann S2, which just almost one-shots the boss, which is just beautiful. I'm going to show you guys the runes after this run while we're at it. I'm really happy with this. I think this is going to be what actually throws me over the edge of making me want to farm some more Necro during the Fever event. But as you guys can see, it's like a I'd say like maybe 45 to 52 second team comp, even with that revenge offset instead of the fight offset, which might actually like come in clutch every once in a while. But now let me actually go over and show you guys the runes. Now let's start off with the unit that moves first, which is the cannon girl. Now she is on Violent Revenge, so again there is potentially one more slot for a fight set in there. So you can kind of just run that as an offset. Overall I still like running Violent. I think as long as one of my units procs a Violent, this fight is like pretty much like the 43 second territory, 44 second territory, which out of like 5 units, like at least one is gonna proc. You're gonna get the shield down early enough. I know it does give it like a random aspect to it, but all in all I'm pretty satisfied with it so far. Now when it comes to the stat requirements, I think you kind of want to run like a little bit more accuracy if you are able to do it. But I'm running like high crit, I'm running her on crit damage as 4. I'm just gonna swipe through her runes. Now pretty much most of these aren't like fully grinded, as you guys can see. Like there's still like a little bit more shenanigans I can do, but I think I'll do that after the Fever event. I plan on not doing any R5 in the meantime. Now let's keep going with the Raoq. He's the guy that kind of has to hit the hardest just to make sure that we actually one-shot all of the units in the waves, that he gets his team-ups up as much as possible so we can get some team-ups with the Astar going, and then kind of just run through the waves. He's again on Violent Fight, so I have him on attack, crit damage, and attack. Those are his stats. Pretty high accuracy for a Raoq in my opinion. Like I don't think you needed that much on him. I mean, it's nice to have armor break, but especially in this team comp, you have the cannon girl, and now you also have the Harpu. I think it should be okay. I think another thing I want to mention, Harpu is coming up as my 3rd moving unit. If you don't have the runes that I do, which I don't think it's like crazy runes, honestly. I think my runes are like maybe like an 8 out of 10. I think having Seren move before Raoq could be an option, because if she does her team up, there is again a pretty high chance that she teams up with the Astar. The Astar chips everyone lower, and then Raoq has an easier time clearing up. So I think maybe that adds like 5 seconds to your team comp. But at the end of the day, it's going to make it like safer because of that as well. So right now my Seren is actually like slightly slower than my Raoq. it's kind of closely tuned. I tried messing around a little bit. This is not like me just doing it like first try. You really gotta like mess with it. I mean, obviously also I would prefer it to be 100 crit. I think there's like a few grinds I can mess with. So here I can get 2% more. Here I can get 1% more, and then yeah, so I could get like kind of close to 100 already as it is. And like I said, the revenge set, so again, if you can't one-shot stuff, I think running revenge as an offset on like 2 units, it's gonna get you closer to that 1 minute instead of 50-second team. Why not? Like, why not? If you have the revenge runes, there's barely any other PvE teams that you like use it on. I think she is a prime candidate, to be honest. I think her stat requirements are like definitely way lower than Raoq, for instance. So I would much rather put a fight set on him than on her. Anyway, so we have the Kettinger, we have Raoq, we have Seren. Now let's move over to my Astar, which moves 4th in my team comp. Now I'm running her on Vampire. I'm gonna just quickly swipe through her runes. She's not like fully optimized, as you guys can see. Like, there's definitely some more grinding I can do. And all in all, I think, yeah, I mean, you want to have like high crit on her. You want to have, I think the Vampire set is kind of mandatory. I don't know if there's people actually nowadays that are able to run her on like a triple fight set, maybe a rage fight set. If you know that, let me know in the comment section, because in theory I do have some sustain with that Shamann. Just every time I try running her, I have like a second Astar basically. Every time I tried running like a full damage one, she just ended up dying like every 10th run, and that's like me being nice. So even if I do have sustain, she just kind of gets one shot, or she kind of even one shots herself during the wave. Now last but not least, let's look at my boy Shamann, who is on Violent Fight. So again, I'm trying to maximize as many fight sets as possible to make sure that my Raoq actually does hit through the waves. He's on 85 crit because I'm pretty much only using him in Necro right now, and as much crit damage as possible. I think I've seen Shamann with like 250 crit damage. 222 is like not that crazy, let's be honest. I think there's people running him on attack slot 6. Like, he doesn't have any HP scaling, so it doesn't really make sense for you to like run him like super tanky. This is just kind of like the way I have mine built right now, but I think maybe just to squish out like a little bit more damage. But the majority comes from his passives and like the crit damage, base damage from his special assault, so I wouldn't bother too much, to be honest. Anyways, I think that's going to be it for today's video. I'm kind of curious if you guys have been trying out the 2As for any speed teams. If you have, let me know. I'm definitely curious about Colleen in the upcoming PvE events. Also, let me know which dungeons you guys are farming during the Fever event, and see you guys in the next video. Bye!
Tell me lies are justified, but all I'm hearing is the